Middleton. We've got a great opportunity here to show you the legendary Subaru Impreza STI 22B, and this customer has obviously brought it into us at MRT for a regular service. It's not one of the original 5 that was sold in Australia, it's actually an import, but it is absolutely original. So what I'm going to quickly do is show you around the car and point out some of the differences between the 22B and the model at its time, which is obviously a very unique car. So follow me and I'll show you what I'm talking about. One of the big things on the inside of the suspension on this model, obviously it had, like the STI, the alloy arms, solid drop links, Bilstein suspension, but you'll notice it's got a lot wider offset on the suspension than a normal STI, and that was done by the wheels, because if you get the cameraman to come around this side of the car, you can actually see how the wheels have got greater offset than the original STI model. Now it's got the classic of its time, the Brembo red STI calipers. It since has had slotted rotors on it, because I don't believe when this model came out it actually had slotted rotors. But obviously that was just some of the things that made a difference. We'll get around to the front and you can see it's a bit awkward from a camera position point of view. We can show you later. Completely different front bumper bar to take into account for the wider body. Up underneath you'll see very similar to all the earlier models. Normal front exhaust manifold before it goes up into the turbo, not like the current model ones which have got the twin scroll design. A larger capacity sump, which was common in those days. Steering rack up underneath the engine cradle. 5-speed close ratio gearbox, not a 6-speed. The catalytic converter, as is again those models, down here underneath the turbo outlet, and around the back here to a flexible joint that then went into either, depending on where it was sold, it may have been a catalytic converter, and more commonly that's probably just a large diameter hot dog or a resonator to take the noise out of the exhaust system. And around the back here again you'll see the rear diff, rear suspension, and it's all very similar to the STI. And of course, looking up underneath the back here with the rear suspension, it's got the 2-pot rear calipers painted red with the rear discs, again Bilstein suspension, and the rear trailing and lateral links. Now the thing is the car was effectively a STI model with a pumped up body kit and a few other benefits and features, but what made it truly unique is the engine, and that was a 2.2 litre engine, which we'll show you later on in this video. Got an opportunity now to show you the outside of the 22B, and what I'm going to show you is the difference in the body kit. Now what you've got to remember is effectively this is a late mid 98 model Subaru Impreza STI WRX. It's actually not a 99 or 2000 model, and I'll show you that later on in the video underneath the bonnet. But you'll see straight away at the front guards are pumped out, and they're a lot different to the STI model, because obviously this to accommodate the wider wheelbase. The front bumper bar is unique on the model. In fact, it was unique right up until now. It's got false fog light covers, because remember this was the design used for the World Rally Car in those days. So this car was marketed by Subaru to leverage the image of the World Rally Car run by ProDrive in the World Rally Championship. It had different bonnet vents. These are designed to get heat out from under the bonnet, and they were unique. The bonnet was effectively the same as the model of that era, but the vents were different. The scoop was the same. Of course, it's got the obligatory pink STI badge, or the Pleiades badge with the star cluster. The front grille here was a little bit different. And one of the unique things that I want to show you, which was very popular in those days, we used to sell a lot of them, this badge here. This is actually a titanium badge, obviously an STI one. So you can't get them anymore, but they were very popular for people to upgrade their car. And if the cameraman looks down the back, you'll see also the rear guard. This whole rear quarter is completely different on this 2-door model compared to the 2-door STI. Of course, again, to take into account the pumped out rear wheel track or the rear wheelbase. It had rear windscreen wiper, which was common on some of the Japanese models. The rear wing was again unique. It actually was adjustable, and you can see underneath here it's got different adjustments to change the angle of the wing. And of course high mount stoplight, and of course the obligatory 22B badge, which obviously makes it look so unique. So there you have it from the outside of the 22B, and come with me and I'll show you the inside of the 22B. The inside of the 22B is a little bit different to the STI of that era as well, and one of the things was the instrument cluster, but I'll compare to the other model in a sec, but I'm pretty sure this model that come with the Nardi steering wheel being a leather one, well, of course it's got the STI badge in the middle with the carbon fibre look, but I wanted to show you the difference in the dash controls as well. This, when it's on, puts the water spray into auto mode, which is effectively a boost activated mode. This one here, when you hold it down, if you listen quietly, you can hear the water spray run for a short period of time, then it'll actually turn off. So if you just want to run the water spray for a second, you press it like that. Alternatively, if you want it run automatic, you leave it like that and it'll turn on and off itself. The dash was a bit different because obviously it had the center adjustable diff controller, which you can see moving up and down there, and some of the gauges here are a little bit different for the Australian model compared to the Japanese model and around the world. The thing that's also gotten, if it's a bit awkward, you'll see down here, this is the controller for the center diff, and also being a Japanese model, it's got the fold back mirrors and the control for the left and right mirror. Oh, and just quickly, this car came with a 22B limited edition badge just down here as well. I'm not sure, just down on the floor here, whether the model originally came with these pedals. That was an aftermarket kit that was available, but I can't remember whether the actual 22B model came with that at the time as well, plus also the stainless steel scuff plate. One little thing which I've noticed on this car, which I believe is probably an option in Japan, is this bit of extra trim on either side of the door, which obviously when you're driving the car from a high G-forces, depending on how you drive it, obviously stop your legs from moving. I thought that was actually quite a unique touch. So there you have it. That's sort of effectively the inside of the car, what makes the 22B unique. What we'll do next is we'll show you what's under the bonnet, because that is what makes it really different.